as you saw today, this war was started by a tragedy. And we are still under shock in Israel. We are still under shock, but we are standing up very strong, and we are in a war. This war is the longest war since '48. Maybe the more difficult. But in all terms, we consider this war at the military point of view, at the political point of view, as the human Israeli point of view, as an existential war. Because our enemies want to destroy the state of Israel. And it's not because Hamas is not a state that there is no existential threat for the state. And this war for us is difficult because we are moving in Gaza, 2.2 billion people, and you heard about the critics, about the world pressure against us not to do because they are civilian, and after the tragedy, after the day that we cannot forget, like you, the 7th of October, people after a few days have changed their mind. They were with Israel when we were a victim, but we are now not the victim anymore, so they are not with us. And the other side, the killer side, is actually till now perceived as a victim side. Between you and me, we know about it, it's not a new situation, but in this situation, like I think your wife just said a few, 1 hour ago when I got your point, we have to do this war until the end. And it won't be easy, because we are not alone in the world. We are friends. One of the main one is USA. And the government of America, during this year there is also elections. So there are also internal issues. But from our side, we consider the American people, the American government, and the American president as a true and strong friend of Israel. And between you and me, the only country really helping Israel in these times is America. I told you, we're in a war. And this bomb, with a good noise, because we are fighting against the bad guys. Okay? It was different on the 7th of October. Right now, we are waiting for three things in order to achieve the goals of this war. The goals of this war are not against the Palestinian people, are not against Gaza, are not against the Gazan people in Gaza Strip. They're against Hamas. I want to be very clear. You asked me an hour ago what we do with anger, because we are so angry, so sad. We don't behave according to the stomach. We behave with the brain. It's not simple. As you see, we continue to keep our memories alive. We continue to keep our memories alive. Families are still in terrible sorrows and pain. Funerals were carried out a few months ago. Most of the people who have been killed are very young. Many women, many men, also elders. But I want to be clear, as an army, we cannot be sad for too long. We cannot be depressed for too long, because the other side wants us to be depressed, wants us to be demoralized. We have to be very, very strong and to think not about the past, but about tomorrow. And I'm not saying it because I'm a Superman, I'm a Jew, like you are. If you see my accent, I was born in France, in Medallia, 40 years ago. My family was also in Auschwitz. My grandfather escaped from Auschwitz, saved. So we have all the same stories. Never mind if you are from America, from Argentina, from France, we are Jews, and I have 4 boys in Israel who were born here. So they're Israeli, but the past is the same, but the future is different. And the future is when, in spite of the tragedy, and it's a real tragedy, in spite of the failure, it was a big failure on this day, And also about this point, I want to be clear. The Israeli army, the security agencies, the government will do everything in order to make a big investigation from the bottom to the top. We cannot continue to have such a problem without solving what happened on this day. What happened on this day is unforgivable. It's unacceptable for the state of Israel, and it happened. So that's a story that we will deal with after the war. Now we're in the war, in the middle of the war, and you are just hearing the noise of our artillery, of our tanks, sometimes the airplanes. What we do now, we are cleaning up Hamas everywhere in the Gaza Strip. Most of it is beneath the ground, in tunnels, in underground facilities. I've just dig it for years, and they prepared themselves for this war. Don't ask me if we knew, if we did not know what happened. We knew partly, but when we put our boots on the ground, we discovered what we knew, but we discovered it in a much bigger amplitude. This war is not over because we have still 134 hostages. As you know, it's not a secret anymore. Some of them are killed, have been killed on the first day, and the bodies have been brought to Gaza Strip. Others have been killed during the time that they are there. But we are still, for us in Israel, at the military level, looking for all the hostages, dead and alive. And all the families are waiting for them. And families know about the fate of their shares, of their family members. They know. What we know, we tell them. We don't hide any information, of course not. We have special units, special bodies ready to deal with hostages crisis. It's a very complicated issue because, as you see, it's become now a strategic issue. Hamas is playing, I would say, a psychological warfare with Israel. War of nerves with the families, with the mothers, with the brothers. And for the government, for the army, there is a kind of tension between the goal to be achieved, destroy Hamas using force, big force, army, and the other side to save the hostages. And the family, of course, asks for the government, for the army, to do everything, even maybe to cease fire in order to bring back the hostages. And Hamas is playing with them. And Hamas is not a state. Hamas is a pure terrorist organization, very big, very strong, very structured, with people inside and outside, with friends like Iran, like Qatar. And we have to be very, very clever. Because I repeat, for all Israelis, and for all Jews in the world, and for all the friends of Israel, we are also with friends around. We are not only between ourselves. We have to keep in mind this war is an existential war. Why? Because if we fail, we will not fail, but if we fail, the other enemies will look at it, will observe, and they are observing day after day, hour after hour. They say, if they fail with Hamas, they will fail with Hezbollah, they will fail with Iran. We have to be very, very, very cautious. That's why the state of Israel, all of it, most of it, I would say, is really mobilized together. In these days, as you see, and you saw today the kibbutz Nir Oz, you see desolation, you see a kind of void. Nothing. No one except here and there people, or people who are visiting. I want to be very clear also about this point. We don't want people to be sad, because the time of the ghetto is over. The time of Auschwitz is over. We don't want people to cry. We have the right to cry, but it's not a policy to cry. Israel is very strong. Israeli people are very strong. We got a big hit on this day, but we are stronger than ever. That's a proof of it. You can see also the people around it. They respect the dead, that they are with green uniform and with a rifle. Paratroopers unit, very young. very strong. They come here because they need to know why they are fighting there. I want to be also clear at this point. It's not a revenge war. We are not Hamas. We are not the other side. We are not trying to do what they did to us. But we have to make Israel very secure. And Israeli families back to their homes. Grandfathers, grandmothers, kids. You know, just one last point maybe. People ask me sometimes, why so many kibbutz close to Gaza? Why people are crazy? Why to have a kibbutz close to Gaza? Because in the Zionist ideology from the very beginning, before State of Israel was born as a state, Jews came from all over the world, from Russia, from Poland, from Yemen, from Morocco, from everywhere. And they understood, mostly one of them was one of the father founder, David Ben-Gurion. He was not the only one. They said, we have to be where the threat is. To be, not just to be with a rifle, to be and to have a land, to work, to farm the land, yeah, to have growth, to have trees, to have flowers, to have kids around playing. And we also will keep this kibbutzim as a kind of, I would say, fortresses around the state of Israel, a newborn. So all these kibbutz actually, who have been attacked on this day, were a kind of wall. Because if these kibbutz were not there, even if they suffered so many casualties, so many pain and sorrows and blood, the terrorists on this day, between 3 to 4, maybe 5,000 terrorists, came into Israel with trucks, with motorcycles, with gliders, sorry, also by sea. And they entered and אני מסיים. אני לא באתי לפה לשחק פינג פונג. She wants me to finish.
No, I don't want you to finish. I just want to see what we are doing later. Sorry.
I finish.
It's the life of a man.
He's much higher rank than I am.
No, it's not. No.
And he's got the gun.
No, of course not for you. No, but just, I think it's very important for you to be in Israel in these days to understand the global picture. Because when you are back to Philadelphia, I don't want you only to have in mind Lanova and the kibbutz.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have you to have in mind that we are a strong country. We look to the future for our families, for our children, and we need to be a strong country with a strong Jewish people abroad. So we don't want to be victim anymore. Even if people like victim, we prefer not to be liked, but to be not the victim. See what I mean? Uh-huh. They want to play the victim all the time, the other side, crying. They kill and they cry. We have been killed, but we don't cry. That's my message to you. Be very strong and very proud. Very proud to be Jew in these times. Because I have never been so proud to be a Jew in this time, in all my life.
Amen.
And I think that all the Israeli people, right, left, religious, not religious, secular, whatever, in Tel Aviv, in Nir Oz, in Jerusalem, feels the same feeling today. We have been attacked in our DNA, in our heart, and they will never succeed to destroy us, never. It's not only my word, it's our word. And you see these young soldiers with red boots. They are from the paratroopers unit. They are the elite unit of the IDF. Believe me, when you see these people, all of them, from different directions, different sources, they are the future. And they are there. You can rely on them. Take care and good luck to you.
Me too.